What a wild season opener that we had for the High Tide Racing League MF Racing Designs Premier Series just 1 week ago at the Daytona International Speedway. And what better way to keep the action flowing than at the action track itself? This is the Richmond Raceway. Good afternoon, one and all, and welcome to Green Flight TV. My name is Ola Wemble alongside Chris Hannigan. We're bringing you all the racing action tonight from round number 2 of the Premier Series. Chris, it was a wild race last week. 11 cautions, 4 big ones, 2 flips, and there's going to be a lot of action this afternoon as well, no doubt.
Yeah, good evening, Nolan. Good evening, race fans. This Monday night, it's time for High Tide Racing League. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can go from one extreme to the other. We went from Daytona, 2.5 mile restrictor plate, bumper to bumper, side by side for 100 laps, and now you're here at Richmond. Complete opposite, only 0.72 miles around, nowhere near as much banking. Short track racing, going to be a whole different story tonight, Nolan.
Still got the same field size. That's really one of the few things that's maintained the same over the course of the last little while. You've still got yourself over 30 cars ready to duke it out this afternoon, and among those is returning driver Hunter Lagunas. He was not sure if he'd be back this next week. It's more kind of a one-off that he and quite a few others were thinking of running. Well, looking like it's been a resounding yes for most of them, and 25 out of those 30-plus cars have already put down qualifying laps, with another 2 having made attempts, but not making successful attempts at that. So about 2 minutes here before we go to racing action at the Richmond Raceway. Let's talk about the last race we had here for a little bit here, Chris, because that race was a wild one in of its own right. Nick Nickerson won that last race by 3.8 seconds, courtesy of some fuel strategies. There was only 3 cautions and only 5 lead changes. But then again, that was in Gen 4 cars. It's a very different beast this afternoon. And on top of that, we only had 19 cars running in that race, which is it's about 2/3 of what we're running here this afternoon, less than 2/3. This race, I feel, is going to be a completely new quantity for these cars.
I completely agree. I mean, the more cars you have on track, it completely changes the dynamic of the racing, and especially when you have more cars on track, I mean, you're going to get back markers more, you're going to get lap traffic coming around a lot quicker. Any incident's going to have more cars trying to avoid it, not get collected, more yellows. But I tell you what, 3 yellows is pretty impressive over 200 laps at Richmond Motor Speedway. So I think it's hopefully tonight they can live up to that. Again, more cars on track is going to be a lot harder. Not quite as many as we had last week at Daytona, but I think that's pretty typical with leagues. You kind of got to get a big opening week, and then drivers figure out if they want to come back or not. But still, very healthy field. Hunter did come back. Other drivers like Aaron Smith, Hildebrand, Paulson, Bob Berry, they're all coming back as well. So I'm glad to see another stacked field tonight. And I think if I were to put my money on it, I would think based on what I saw last week, I'm probably going to have maybe more than 3 yellows. But, if we did have 3, I mean, think about the pit strategy here too, right? 200 laps is a long time. I heard you can go about 75 laps on a tank of gas. So you're looking at 2 stops for fuel. But you're going to need tires long before you're going to need that petrol in the tank. So I think we're going to see maybe, only 4 sets of tires in the race. Yellows come out. Do you take them? Do you take 2 tires versus 4 tires? We're going to see a lot of varying strategies tonight, and it should make for a very exciting race.
We'll get to all of that and more in a little while. 32 cars ready to take off from the Richmond Raceway this afternoon. Let's take a rundown of what your official starting grid has got in store for us from the action track. Started on pole position, it'll be Hunter Lagunas alongside Dustin Ping by just 0.06 of a second. Aaron Smith brings it up in 3rd on row number 2 alongside GGA Esports driver Michael Thorpe Jr. Brian Dees will be in the number 5 spot with Dalton Kilroy in 6th. Tony Hilburn is back in 7th with Kevin Foster in 8th. On row 5, rounding out the top 10, it's Team MFRD's Derek Paulson alongside Michigan native Scott Shire.
Row 6 will be Bob Berry on the inside, Larry Bell on the outside. Row 7, Benjamin Lacey and Carter Phillips. Row number 8, John Osborne and Michael Keithley. Row number 9, Ethan Sikorsky and Ty Moresco. Row number 10 will be Jonathan Canfield and Zachary Triplett, rounding out top 20.
Zero Foxtrot Motorsports driver David Lakey brings it up at 21st alongside BC Sim Sports driver Jason Greenwell in 22nd. The Canadian Connor Gibson brings it up at 23rd alongside Sean Williams out of the Carolinas. USA Firearms machine of Brian Zimmerman, the last car to put down a qualifying lap, running 25th. Chris Carroll for Pit Lizard Performance, I believe, making his series debut, unless he did make a start at Daytona. Memories eluding me for now. Tanner Martin, 5 Kings Motorsports, starts 27th. TNA Motorsports driver Corey Sherman breaks it up in 28th. California's Nick Ospeck is 29th, with Michael Ashmore out of New Jersey down in 30th. And then it is Andrew Jones out of the Virginias in 31st, with Paul Sattmary, the German, rounded it out in 32nd. You may have noticed this race dubbed Paul's Language Courses. Well, Paul Sattmary, your sponsor for this race, an incident on that was caught on numerous Twitch streams last week. Evidently, after being caught in one of those wrecks, Sattmary, well, he demonstrated a lot of new words that a lot of drivers had not heard of in German, evidently. So, a little inside joke coming into the night.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to hear on the voice chats in these leagues, especially when you have Daytona. A lot of heated emotions in the moment, and I heard that yeah, there was a language course given there. So appreciate the lessons, and now we're going to carry it forward into Richmond. I don't think you're going to get less frustration here. Very different type of racing. Obviously, no restrictor plate. Draft's not such a huge issue here. Nationwide cars, I call them nationwide, Class B cars here, don't have quite the horsepower of the Gen 4. A little bit slower lap times, but that just means your momentum is so much bigger of a deal. But here we go, 200 laps at Richmond. Let's kick it off, Nolan.
Well, not quite yet. It's a short track. You get 2 pace laps instead of 1. Gives the field time to form up. Probably a good thing considering the guys in the back are only just now catching up the tail end of the line. But we get 1 more lap here. You mentioned this track is not going to be devoid of frustration. It's not going to be the most aggravated track, though, because Martinsville is on the schedule as well. So while this track will throw up some emotions, no doubt Martinsville could be a site of retribution if anything goes awry tonight.
Yeah, this place is going to give you a headache. Martinsville is going to give you a migraine, absolutely, compared to this. This track's like twice as wide as what you would see at Martinsville. Plus, you got banking, and it's a little bit bigger. So, but now this is a great track. It's a lot of produced great racing for years and years and years. And I think, you know, High Tide Racing is definitely going to put on a good show. A lot of familiar cars up front. Last week's winner, Hunter Lagunas, there on the pole. Aaron Smith right behind him. Aaron had a good running at Daytona last week too, so he got caught up in those wrecks. Still had a good finish there in the end. But here we go. Let's do it.
For the action track in Virginia, it's go, go, go! With Hunter Lagunas getting a great drive and getting way down to the turn number 1. You've already got 1 car spinning around. It's David Lakey, and the yellow flag is out before we even get to turn number 1.
Yeah, we'll see what happened there in a minute. He probably got a little bit of nose to tail there on kind of getting going on the start. Either that or he spun the tires off turn 4. I'm sure we'll get a good replay of it here in a second, but they didn't even make it through turns 1 and 2. As we see, somebody just peeled off. Was that Lagunas? And he is disconnected from the session.
Manually or?
It says manually disconnected. So interesting. We'll keep an eye on that and see if I can get our pit lane reporter down to figure out what happened there. But yeah, you know, this is the interesting thing about sim racing. I mean, we don't really have, you know, car failures like we do in the real world, right? So sim racing is very different. Someone calls and said it's time to go for dinner, then, you know, that's what you do. What was the lunges there? Did he get hit from behind? Oh, wow.
What in the world? Did he miss
Who's
a
in
shift?
that red car right there? That's the, I'm trying to go back and look myself to see who's in the car.
Blakey
Somebody was
might have
lunted.
missed a shift.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll get another look at it. Let's see. This is from
Lakey, the driver that spun out. I'm curious what happened here. Yeah, he missed a shift, all right.
Oh, he just got run over there.
I think he got, I want to say that was Carter Phillips that hit him. It was not.
Well, I'm gonna stir the drama pot already because we have just come in. We only lap 3. Reading the chat in the game or in the sun, and after Lagunas hopped out, first comment was the word. Well, let's just say I think maybe it was intentional, and I think people were criticizing him for his lack of patience. I'll say it that way. So. Maybe it was intentional. Maybe, you know, said he's done. You know, can't make it 1 clean lap. I'm out. I don't know.
could have been looking to just take the points and move on, too. He's got pole.
This is true. This is true.
Oh, regardless, we got yellow flag #1 early on. The first Toyota cannot be found until 17th. It's a very much Chevy and Ford dominated top 15 right now. And in fact, you got Chevys running through every spot in the top 4. They were in the top 5, but that was before Aaron Smith came down to pit road. And he's not the only driver to have done that. Brian Zimmerman is into the pits along with Lakey. Now, Lakey, no surprise. He just smoked up his tires. He might be looking to get some damage repairs as well. And looking like there's a bit of damage as well on Zimmerman's car. For Smith, I reckon he's topping up on fuel, going for a strategy.
That's the only thing I can think of here as well.
Although he's in the box for 21 seconds, that's not fuel only, because that's long enough to take a
There's
whole
no
tank.
way. There's no way he took tires right there. Maybe I had to use the bathroom or something. Who knows? So
He could have fixed damage, because there was a lot of bouncing around right out of the gate there.
yeah, it's interesting already. You know, obviously it's hard to kind of understand all the different layers here. We don't really have a pit lane reporter. I wish we did, but you know, it's hard to see what's going on. We're only kind of looking off what we can see. This is the replay of the start here.
Aaron Smith didn't hit anybody. He started way up the grid, and then it was the 31 of Connor Gibson that got
that's
into
where
the
the
back.
22 got damaged there.
Yeah, so that was just a massive concertina. I think Lakey got a little unsettled from being tagged on the backside the first time around, and that's what caused him to spin it out and miss that well, he didn't spin it out. He was hit and spun out, but he missed a shift, which led to all of that. But Dustin Ping will lead us back to the green flag. Your defending champion, now the new race leader. They're bottling it up again as they come down to the front straightaway out of turn number 4.
A little bit of wheel spin there, I think, from our race leaders side by side through turn 1. It's Ping and Thorpe Jr. Looks like Ping is going to be on the inside. Thorpe's going to run the wall, come around the good side. Thorpe's going to keep the high side.
Oh.
Big wreck off of turn 2. Big wreck.
And that has just collected everyone from about 10th on back. Huge pile up. At least 8-9 cars collected, with many more having to come to a stop. That has just saved Lakey from going down more than 2 laps. He'll get the lucky dog free pass. And now Michael Thorpe Jr. to the point. Let's find out what happened. Still have not made it 1 lap under green flag conditions.
What in the world happened here? You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me, or shame on you. Well, you know how it goes, right? Twice, don't do it again. That's what Bush said, I remember.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's how the phrase goes. But three wide, and
that's what did it.
Oh, whoa! 43. Larry Bell going for a big ride.
Yeah, I don't know what the was that Keithley up there in the 35? No, it's the who's the 64
No,
car?
you were correct. It was
Zachary
Keithley in the 35. Yes.
Was it Keithley? Okay. No, the 30 car is what I'm looking at. The 30 car, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of an aggressive move, sticking your nose out, but I don't. It looked like he was trying to get out of it to his credit, but it's uber aggressive for the first green flag. Let's see, did he really get a run?
I think he realized it was going to close.
Yeah, he was trying to back out of it. He had a massive run there in the middle of the corner. I can't blame him for getting on the gas and learning that, but I mean, that's nobody. I mean, honestly, who was the car in the middle there that got? Was that the 30? That was Keithley, right? The one that got flung into the wall.
That was Larry Bell.
Larry Bell. Sorry. So Larry here probably. Yeah, I mean, that's hard to say. Maybe could have stayed left a little bit more, but I mean, that's what happens, guys. You gotta give room on this opening lap. Look at all the hoods, man. All right, boys, let's clean it up. Let's do it. Let's get a green flag lap here at Richmond.
Jonathan Canfield on board with him. He was right behind all of this, and that was the 98 in front that he kind of pushed into this mess. And again, that caused the entire field to have to effectively come to a stop behind just to try to pick their way through the debris.
Yeah, I'm impressed actually how they did that, because it's easy for people just to kind of run over each other and under braking, but really we didn't see a whole lot of it right there. Quick check into the chat. Lots of action in the chat tonight. We'd love to see it. lots of fans for Hildebrand. Number 84's out there. Money Mike Jr.'s running in the race. Got some support. It's good to see all the fans in the chat cheering on their favorite drivers tonight, and hopefully we'll get some green flag racing to see some good battles on track.
You know, I'm a bit worried this might go the way of Atlanta last year. Last season. It was the only, I think, real race in the Gen 4 season where we had big problems off the start. But we had 4 cautions before we got a single lap of green flag racing in. And 3 out of those 4, we didn't even make it to turn 1. It was so bad that race control had to threaten to put them single file before it got cleaned up. And if this doesn't clean up quickly, we might find ourselves in a similar situation because we're already 12 laps in. We haven't even made it to turn 3 under green.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Is at what point do you do that? I mean,
Race control's
it's
discretion.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be coming up close. Imagine if they do it again a third time. You've got to consider that, right? I mean, it's how many opportunities do you give them to say we can't do it? But all right, well, let's try it. Third time's a charm. All right, let's do it.
Michael Thorpe Jr., Final Four contender from last season, coming home to the Geico restart zone. Green flags out, and once again, we hightail it towards turn number 1, and already looking for 3 wide behind and contact between the 90 and the 75. Coming through turns 1 and 2. No trouble yet, though, off of turn number 2. And there we go. Paul Satmar going to get turned. Let the language lessons commence. And they're going to bottle them up all the way down to the turn number 3. And there's the 22 that just came flying in there with no awareness of what was going on in front of him.
Yeah, that was not ideal. I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
That wreck went quarter away around the racetrack. So, but we'll try it again. Maybe 4th time's a charm. What happened here? Coming off turn 2, you got 35 car in the middle. That's going to be the car of
it's not
Michael
the real
Keithley
35 car. I can tell you that much.
Oh,
that is the real 35 car. That is Keithley.
And then Paul do another language lesson here. Did he just floor it in reverse, or what's going on there?
He's trying to get the car flick spun back around, and that's a tough break for the 22. That again just came absolutely flying in there. Nowhere to go for Zimmerman. Let's ride on board with him. I'm willing to bet he had no clue this was going on in front of him. Yeah, he's got cars slowing up, and you can see a part of a wreck, but I mean, at that point, he was committed to that outside. That's trying to make up spots before the yellow comes out, though. Because remember, these cautions are admin thrown. They're not thrown by iRacing. So if you have got the chance to make up some moves, quite a few drivers might take them, especially with all the carnage you've been having early on.
That's tough. That's
possibly a separate incident in the back. There was Ty Marasco being spun around. Oh, and Larry Bell found the inside wall. So there were a few incidents here, Chris, to bring this yellow flag out.
I wonder if some of that couldn't have been folks checking up under braking right here. Everybody's checking up, woeing up. There's the wreck. There's the woe ups, and then that's a hit for the woe up.
Ouch. That's a hard hit, and he only just got that car fixed. So that's game over for Bell.
Done. Yeah. Tough news for Bell. I think also tough news for Zimmerman, the 22. I don't think he did the fast repair first time around, but now he's definitely going to have to, because that car, we were on board with him. That car was steering was quite offset. So maybe single file restart this time, yeah? Let's see. Well, it's going to be a long night.
They did leave it at Atlanta. They left it until about the 4th time when they put the thread out. So it might be the case. You get 3 mulligans, and then we'll start to put the foot down at the 4th.
I mean, at this rate, it might be a fuel mileage race too. I mean, remember, you got 75 laps, green flag racing. I mean, remember folks like Aaron Smith jumped in early, right? Got that top off on fuel. Maybe he knows something we don't, right? So if you do run a lot of yellow flags, see a lot more drivers in. Some of these guys were collected in that wreck, though, getting some repairs done. I mean, you could, in theory, maybe stretch a 1-stop from here. You got what, 180 laps to go with all the yellows and stuff. Why not roll the dice and see what happens? Probably want the tires though. My car just doesn't feel like it's stopped.
No, you know, I kind of agree with you on that one, and he wasn't throttling it up, but there was not much of an effort to slow that car down either.
Well, when you're giving language lessons for everybody for the races, you're the race sponsor. I mean, you can get away with stuff like that, probably.
Well,
meanwhile, back for the restart attempt. Let's try it again. Double file.
still have not made it. A lap of green flag racing from the action track. Green flag's back out, and we'll get to it.
And Michael Thorpe Jr. got a great launch that time. No wheel spin at all. Heading into turn number 1. Cleared 3-car advantage there over second place. Brian Dees running the high lane out of turn number 2. He's going to clear third place car of Kilroe and Ping side by side in the turn 3. Are they going to get settled down by the time they go out of turn 4? Looks like we're going to make one complete clean green flag lap here, Nolan. Maybe. There it is.
So we make it a lap. Lap 20 officially underway, and lap 19 will be the first completed lap of the night. Thorpe still hanging it out in front of Brian Dees. A lot of the side-by-side battling, though, deeper in the field as drivers fight their way through turn numbers 3 and 4, back down to the front stretch, and trying to carry some good momentum down to the round through 1. Looking like finally got things settled down enough that we can get some good racing in.
It's going to take a few laps to get these tires up to temperature now. They've been running caution laps for about 15 minutes, so they're going to be cold. It's going to take a few laps to get them up to speed, and then you can really start to lean on them a little bit. But yeah, you're right. Everybody's starting to go single file. This is really a single file racetrack. Double file will work. That inside lane is really the preferred place to be, but you're going to find, I think, single file, even though double file does work, single file is really where you want to be on track. You see Thorpe here under pressure from Dees up front. Thorpe had a great launch on that restart, but now you got Dees and Kilroe here running them down. Looks like they got something for the race leader here.
Dees tried to have a look down the inside of the turn 1 the last time by. Couldn't get the job done. Well, Benjamin Lacey gets around Bob Berry. And Chris Campbell takes one to the inside as well. So Berry going to drop 2 spots as Chris Carroll, and Benjamin Lacey both make up 1. Back to the inside of Thorpe is Lacey, making that peak for the race lead. And could he have something for him off of turn number 2, side by side, and a dead heat down the backstretch. Thorpe still trying to work the outside line. It's a good defensive line at Richmond, but Brian Dees right now has found something on the bottom.
Yeah, he goes side by side in turn number 1 here. Dees on the inside, Thorpe on the outside. Dees is going to send it in, clear him into turn 1. New race leader off of turn 2, single file. Brian Dees, yellow flags out. Car turned in turn 1, I believe.
Jonathan Canfield, the cause for yellow flag number 4. So we made it a lap, but we didn't make it too much further than that. So we'll go to lap 26 and then bring on the yellow flag for the 4th time this afternoon. Take a look.
Just heading off into turn 1 here. Looks like you got Canfield's following the 1 car. That's going to be Ty Marasco. All by himself here. Oh,
nope.
The 30 car. 30 car got in. I mean, that was hot. And Carter Phillips there. He's going to say sorry as he drives by and continue on his way. He just missed the corner straight up. There's no other way you can say that, but yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. You gotta get off the gas, get on the brake a little bit, but I'm sure it won't be the only one we'll see tonight. Yeah, he just missed the corner. He tried to slow it down, but it was just too much, too late.
Caution flag number 4. Marasco, Smith, Williams, and Osapek all into pit road for service. The rest of the field staying out.
Interesting thing here, it's not the first time Smith's come to pit road. Smith has been slow. Every time he gets a chance, he comes in, tops off the tank. Another yellow, tops off the tank. I like it. It's not a strategy I've seen, but I like it because he's running in the back. When the yellow's happening up front, you just got to avoid it. You know, just make sure you don't get caught up in it. No one can run you over when you're already in the back. Keep that tank topped off. See what happens. Roll the dice.
Board from race control. Carter Phillips, the driver, the number 30, will be given the tail of the longest line for causing that latest incident.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that one there. I'm sure you didn't do it intentionally. Just got caught up in the moment, missed the corner, and that's exactly what will happen. You punt the guy off in front of you, and you drop to the end of the longest line, get your EOL, and live on and race again. So up front, Brian Dees, though, pretty aggressive, not aggressive, pretty strong showing on that restart because Thorpe got a great launch. You know, and I think Thorpe was one of these guys. I think he actually finished second last week at Daytona. Was going for the win there. Having a good run again tonight. Brian Dees had a good run to run him down, and now he's got a pretty strong car with that Camaro up front. Is that a Marvel Studios car? Is that what I'm seeing on there?
It is.
That is nice. I saw the Captain America shield there on the left front. I saw Hulk on there too. Yeah, there you go.
Deadpool on the tail end. Somehow that's
like
fitting.
That's a good looking race car right there. I like that.
Yeah, there's a few good looking cars throughout the field.
Yeah, the other
I'm
one
slightly biased to this one though, or at least through the first, up until Endgame, I'm biased towards Marvel. After that, it's.
Man, would you know that I've only seen about half of those movies? We have yet to finish. We got to get caught up on them. And,
you know,
I haven't made this part of the game yet.
I don't blame you, and it. Take my advice. Maybe watch Loki, but otherwise stop at Endgame. It's a mess right now, and nobody knows what's going on. It's horrible.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I can tell you all about it in a 3-hour rant after we're done here, no doubt. But we're going green.
Good looking race car there, Dees. Bring it home.
Iverson pace car pulling down into pit road. Green flag back in the air. Good launch as always from the inside line. And the rest of the field, double file in the march to turn 1.
Yeah, pretty clean street start here looking like so far. Dee's got a good launch. I mean, that inside lane, like you said, Nolan, it's really the place you want to be. On the restart, the outside lane cannot pass you into the corner, so they're right across the start-finish line, so it's a good place to get a good launch. Got Thorpe on the outside here, Kilrow on the inside. Thorpe's going to have to run off the corner into turn number 1, side by side. I think that inside lane is where you want to be, though, so you got Brandon Kilrow there on the inside. He's going to keep that car pinned on the yellow line. Thorpe's going to keep it on the high side. It's only going to work for so long. You don't want to burn these tires off. You really don't know how long you're going to have to run these tires tonight, so save them a little bit. Maybe if I'm someone like Thorpe, I'm dropping in behind Kilrow right here to start clicking laps off, get up forward a little bit, but he's hanging there. Still a fender on the outside through 1 and 2, Nolan.
He's not wanting to back down much, that 34 car. And I mean, if you tuned in at all to last year or last season, you'll know Thorpe is not a driver that ever backs down. He is go big or go home, week in, week out. Chris Carroll attacking Scott Shire on the approach to turn number 1.
90 car, that's going to be Carroll at the inside, right behind Benjamin Lacey here. Not giving him much room to work. Looks like Shire there is going to let him in line. They're going to go back single file on the turn number 3. Again, you're trying to find your rhythm now. You've gotten, you get settled in. You kind of get the battles worked out from the restart. Find your rhythm, find your groove, start hitting your marks, start clicking off laps. As the Thorpe and Ping now. Ping's going to move up to P3, I think, or is that going to, as Thorpe continue to drop back here now. He's up to P5, and it's actually Ping moving up to 4th. So, yeah, Thorpe's struggling here on these restarts, not getting that car fired up and not getting the grip that everybody runs to. Either that or he's just not running as hard trying to save his tires.
Chris Carroll in his series debut this afternoon, making a good launch in that 90 car, already up 18 spots where he started this race tonight, and trying to make that 19 as he'll fight to the inside of Tony Hilbrand's. So one of those drivers that was not present at Daytona last week, but has since come through and has really been putting in the work this afternoon. Granted, a lot of cautions in this early run have really helped out the number 90, but he's looking to take that one away down to the inside. Picks off Hilbrand's, and that puts Carroll one closer to a top 5.
That's great. Carroll, man, one of the few Canadians in the field tonight. Great restart. I mean, positions are everything at this track. It is very much a track this track. It's hard to pass because you want to get that inside lane. If the car ahead of you blocks it down, there's not a whole lot you can do. Very impressive to see it move up that many spots up to P7. And as you see the field now, almost exclusively single file most way through the field. Everybody's starting to settle down. Find your rhythm, save your tires, start clicking off some laps.
The front runners still single file. Further behind, David Lakey, after spinning out to bring out yellow flag number 1 on, well, the first 60 feet of this race. He's been slowly clawing his way back through the order. He is now up 3 from where he started, trying to attack Aaron Smith, who is down 14. And now another battle between Kevin Foster and Chris Carroll, as Carroll gets up into the 6th place spot. Further behind, season 1 winner this racetrack, Benjamin Lacey, trying to attack Tony Hilbrand's.
There's a couple battles brewing on track here. I'd be careful. I mean, if someone like Carroll right now making these moves through the field, you don't want to burn those tires off too soon. You want to be able to save them a little bit. Be careful what you're doing. Side by side here between Hildebrand's and Lacey, as it looks like Lacey's going to try to send it up the inside, keep that car turned to the left a little bit. There you go. Keep it tight. Get the run off. Outside lane's got a lot of speed here on iRacing these days, so you want to clear him into the corner just like you did there. That's going to make Hildebrand drop in behind. Smart move there. Save your tires. Continue on your way, and live the fight of the day.
And I think with that, we are officially on the longest green flag run we have had all race long of about 13 laps. Brian Dees, Dalton Kilroe, Dustin Ping. Still looking 1, 2, 3 as they fight their way through turn numbers 1 and 2 and back around to 3 and 4. Dees continuing to hug that inside. Dalton Kilroe following it up in 2nd, but haven't seen either of these drivers being too eager to make a run for the lead. Kilroe, I'm not surprised about. MFRD teammates with Brian Dees up the road, and they're both trying to keep Dustin Ping, your defending champion, behind them.
Yeah, it's a smart strategy. Go ahead and let Dees set the pace. You see Dees running that about half lane up off the yellow line, I've noticed. You got Kilroe and Ping essentially running the yellow line, hugging it all the way around. If you look at where Dees is at, he's not quite all the way down there. And I mean, you can run wherever you want to run, but you know there is something to be said about saving tires. There's some tricks to that. You'll see some of these guys that different strategies. Not saying it's the best strategy, but different strategies. You can run a slightly bigger radius through the corner and put less into the wheel and actually save tires. It's kind of an interesting strategy to think about. That's why a lot of guys run the high lanes on some of the higher bank ovals, so they don't have to scrub the tires as much. But there's Michael Thorpe with a send. Wow, under Chris Carroll. Carroll obviously moving up through the field. Thorpe there said, nope, I'm going to go ahead and send it here on the inside. Maybe a door bang down the front straightaway right there. I don't know, Thorpe looking really aggressive all of a sudden here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a hip check there, and now Carroll squeezing Thorpe in, and I think it may have just turned him on the backstretch.
It did. I don't know if they made contact, but there's a single car incident. No yellow yet. Thorpe is on the inside wall in the back straightaway. He's going to put that thing in gear, watch the rejoin. He's doing it the right way. It's going to cost him a bunch of spots. You know, Nolan, I don't know if they touched, but he was dirt tracking that thing all the way through turn 2. He gathered it up, and then he had the tank slapper on it, and it went back around. He's going to be right in front of the race leaders now. Not much to say there, but very unfortunate for Thorpe. He was running hard. It was hard racing right there. Let's get a replay here. This is turn 2. Did they touch or?
They did.
Oh, yeah. They did touch.
Right on the apron and then just overcorrected. And
you know,
slid it down.
He touched it just enough. You know, and Thorpe will say Carroll didn't give enough room, and Carroll said he left plenty of room, and that's just going to be a racing deal. Those guys are running hard right there. Another driver running hard here, Aaron Smith. He's one of these drivers. I think he started in the top 5, I believe it was. But in any case, he's you know, he pitted every yellow. He's running his way through the field. He's halfway through the lead lap cars now. He's a guy to keep an eye on. I think all night he's got the most fuel in that car pretty much anybody out there right now. So.
Aaron Smith right now running in the number 12 spot. He just got his way around Connor Gibson to get himself to that 12th place spot. Further behind them, Corey Sherman trying to see if he can attack Keith Lee, and that's a tight squeeze off of turn number 2. Just barely gets his run around the outside. The discount tire number 35. Looking like might be down another position. So Sherman up 13 now and into the top half of the field.
Good run there for Sherman. He's working his way up as well. Running that higher lane, I've noticed, and I like that. I think start moving these cars up. They save those tires. Run that higher lane. Look at it send it in on that upper lane. He get back on the power earlier to see if he can carry the speed up and around Bob Berry here. He's not going to do it this time because Berry's going to close the door on him. Now he's going to try to send it up the inside. There he goes. Off later on the brakes, dive it in. Run the bottom this time. Force Berry to run the high lane, and that's going to move Sherman up to P14.
Good move there on Corey Sherman. Really sold in the dummy and made that spot happen. Chris Carroll getting a little bit crossed up as he tries to chase after Derek Paulson. So another one of those MFRD cars now under some fire from Chris Carroll, a driver that has been charging for that Pit Lizard Performance crew all night long. You got 3 of the Team MFRD teammates right now running within the top 5. First, second, and fourth. But Paulson is now going to be under fire. And Chris Carroll is up to the number 4 spot and now a serious threat for the race lead.
Carroll is driving the wheels off that car right now. I hope the tires are hanging on for him. But yeah, we're about 30 laps into this run now, I think. So this run's clicking off fairly quickly now that everybody's kind of settled out there, figuring everything out and gets moving. So about halfway through a fuel run here. I would expect cars to start coming in somewhere around lap 90. So about 35 laps from now. Of course, those are the drivers that have not pitted. The drivers that have pitted are going to stay out a lot later than that. The drivers that have, or excuse me, I have that backwards. The drivers that have not pitted may come in earlier. Those are for the drivers that actually did pit. They'll come in around the lap 90. So pit stops here maybe in the next, let's call it 40 laps in maybe. So do you run the tires all that way? Replay here. We Thorpe. Yeah, that's just hard racing there. They're going to, each of them, I mean, Thorpe's going to say he got squeezed, Carroll's going to say that, he left room, and that's one of them racing deals, man. One is going up, they're both going, they're both trying to go to the same spot on the racetrack, Nolan. That's bound to happen.
Battles on for second. Dustin Ping, your defending champion, trying to break clear of Kilroe, and he gets sideways off of turn number 2. Has just the momentum to hold the inside, and 3. Chris Carroll thinking if he wants to try to battle back. Ping bullies Kilroe out to the outside wall off of turn number 4. Down the front stretch, caution flag is out. And this one is because of Carter Phillips. The VC Simsport car, he is stopped up high. I believe that is in, turn 2. Who this does save, though, is Michael Thorpe Jr. because there's Thorpe, and there's race leader Brian Dees right behind him. So this saves Thorpe from going down a lap.
Yeah, nice camera work there. That's a great point because he was about to go. Now he's back on the same lap as everybody. Let's see, this is going to be Carter Phillips. He's on the inside of the 98 car. The 98 car is going to be Michael Ashmore here. Does he lose it on his own on entry?
No, he just went straight. Missed the corner.
Oh, and he pushed the 98 into the wall, too. I think the 98 actually got the worst deal of that because the 98's the one that hit the wall with a pretty solid whack. Pit lane's open, by the way. Everybody's coming in. It's expected.
Yeah, he just locked up. Went in way too hot.
Yeah. Not the first time we've seen that from Phillips tonight. Green flag pit stops, Nolan.
Ryan Dees leads them in, expecting 4 tires and fuel. Chris Carroll stays out. Aaron Smith stays out. Ty Marasco stays out. They'll pick up the top 3 spots. That's a choice. I'm not sure if it's a choice I agree with, but it is a choice. Brian Dees going up on the jacks for a set of all 4. And here's going to be the race off of pit road. It'll be Dees, Kilrow. Oh, I think Paulson, then Ping, Lacey, Foster, and Zimmerman.
Nice battle off pit road. Everybody, a good chance to go ahead and fill it up with fuel, get 4 tires. You're at that spot of the race. Yeah, I don't know if I'm someone like a Chris Carroll. I don't know why I'm not pitting, but he's actually dropping back right now. And he disconnected.
Oh.
And he's maybe he forgot to pit and decided to go ahead and park it.
Well, that's a shame.
After such a strong run, that's
that'll make sense.
okay. So Aaron Smith, though, race leader. So remember, we keep an eye on Smith. He pitted early. He's actually pitted twice already. Ty Marasco there in 2nd place. He started way back in 18th. He's actually pitted 7 times so far to I think doing repairs in that car. He's caught up again. Remember, he was caught up in that, I think, the 2nd caution or 3rd caution when he looped at the backfield into the inside wall. So he's getting that car repaired up. But neither one of these cars pitted on this last exchange. So they've got, let's say, about, man, I don't know, 20 laps of fuel left in that car at this point, maybe. So I don't know the advantage unless you're trying to stretch it and get track position, hope for another yellow in 20 laps and get saved and everybody pits again. But I don't know.
It's an interesting one for sure, but one that will, for now, remain a mystery. We're going to take a quick step back. Give thanks to MFRD once again for sponsoring this series. When we return, it's the restart on Green Flag TV. Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Pace car is in, and we are about to get this show back on the road. Green Flag is up in the air, and Marasco doesn't get going for the inside line. The entire inside lane stacks, and the top 2 on a breakaway into turn number 1.
So far, everybody looks like they survived so far. No problems. They clean off turn 2. Nope, car around 35 cars. It's going to be Michael Keithley. Does not hit anything. No yellows yet. And he's going to continue on his way. And no yellow. We're still fighting in battle for the race lead in the turn 1. It's going to be Dees versus Smith.
2 wide as they work their way through turn numbers 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. As Dees trying to see if he can go for the race lead around Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith trying to see if he can't take it. Oh, it's some fresh rubber from the outside, but Brian Dees hanging on. Look at this. We're 3 wide. Down the front stretch behind, 1 into the grass, and they're still not done yet as they fight their way into turn numbers 1 and 2. Brian Dees pulls clear from Smith for now, but what a grudge match we've got elsewhere in the field.
That wreck, I mean, that started, I said that wreck, that started back in turn 3. Ty Marasco actually was on the apron of turn 3 and kind of washed back up, and everybody had to check up, and it resulted in this 3-4 wide pack coming off of turn 4. Everybody survived. Great job there from all the drivers to survive that. That's a 19s around.
You had to say something.
I did. Oh,
hard
wow.
hit for Thorpe into the wall.
saw that car just ricochet. Oh, that was a weird angle, but yeah, 19. I think Sherman may have squeezed up a little bit. Don't know who he squeezed up against. Let's see, this is going to be a 35 car. This was it's 35 back after his spin. Did
Just
he get?
lost it on his own.
Oh, this was. Look at this was on the restart. Cold tires, man. That'll happen.
And this was Kilroe off of turn number 4. Same thing. Just lost the back end.
Look at that pack behind him. Wow. That's where Marasco washed back up in front of those guys. And then this the yellow. This is coming off turn 2.
The 19
so we're looking at
just gets turned there, right out of shot.
Yeah, I didn't quite see who got squeezed there, but then they all just kind of file in like bowling balls and bowling pins here. Look at the hit that 34 takes. Oh.
Right back down into an already stopped David Lakey as well. And the car that initially got spun was Corey Sherman, and that was the aid of Kevin Foster that he squeezed into the outside wall.
Yeah, car high, man. That's wow.
Ouch.
A few cars there.
The 5 took a big hit as well to the inside wall.
Yeah. Now look at that left front's not even turning. Yeah, it's honestly the thing about iRacing, it's not the hits against the other cars, it's the hits against the wall. When you hit the wall, it damages these cars so much. It's the way the physics engine's written. So that
There's
that
no
is a
safer
big
barrier
hit.
there either, so that's an extra hard hit.
He got hit again right there. That's a big hit. This is on board with Thorpe. Remember, Thorpe just got saved by the yellow flag, trying to get a good clean run back up. And he makes it. Oh, and he clears the wreck and gets hit from behind. That's so frustrating. Oh, he slowed down. He cleared the wreck. Is it the 5 car that hit him? Let's see. Look at he slowed down. Oh, wow.
16, Jonathan Canfield.
Man, there were a lot of cars flying in there a lot quicker than you'd like to see. So it's Richmond, baby. That's what happens, right?
Lap 72 of 200 and under yellow flag number 6. Ethan Sikorsky coming to the pit road for more service. Chris Carroll still has not made his way back onto the racetrack. So as it stands, I think it's safe to say that Osborne is out, although not officially. Officially, we've got 27 out of 32 left in this race, but that might go down to 25 if Osborne doesn't get back out on the racetrack, along with some of the others that have big damage. I would say that Lakey gets back on track, so 26 right now, 27 pending Osborne.
Yeah, remember you get one fast repair in this, and if you're not an iRacing league, if you're not an iRacing driver, basically get fast repairs. You come in, you park, you hit a button, and you get a brand new car. So all your damage is repaired, all your suspension's repaired. You can do that once per race. So you'll see these guys after they get into a big accident, where you have these, your damage is repaired via minutes. So if you have a lot of damage, it may be like 30 minutes of repair. If you have a little bit, it might be 30 seconds. You can always take that fast repair and go ahead and just, basically get a free repair instantly and drive back out. But you can only do that once. A lot of guys will save that toward the end. But once you use that, if you get into another wreck, you might as well go ahead and park it. That's what I think a few of these guys are starting to do.
End of yellow flag number 6. Ryan Dees into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. This time, a much better launch from the inside as Dees clears up to the top side pretty much immediately. Derek Paulson pulls for the outside of your Season 1 winner, Richmond, Benjamin Lacey. And he'll battle with him for second into turn number 3.
It's pretty racy there for P2. Looks like Paulson's going to get a good run off the corners. Lacey's going to file in behind. That's a good, smart thing to do. Car in the wall there. That's going to be the 64. Zachary Triplett got the wall out of turn 4. He's going to live on drive another day. No cut tires. Everything looks like it's good on that race machine. Because again, everybody tries to figure it out. You got to get single file here. Oh, big knock there from the 91 into the 22. It's going to send him up the hill. 64 is going to go up the middle. Hit him again for good measure. 3 wide to turn 1 here, Nolan.
Triplet caught in the middle. Zimmerman up on the high side. Gibson down on the low side. Contact again, and Gibson going to be forced out from the bottom lane. So it goes down between Zimmerman now and Triplet. Just a little ways behind. How about Sean Williams throwing his hat into the ring? And in the back, Aaron Smith on that more alternative fuel strategy, slowly but surely clawing his way back through the order.
I'll say through all that madness, Connor Gibson there in the 31 car just avoided like 3 different accidents. He did a great job giving room to the guys that were moving all around the racetrack, being kind of predicting and, anticipating things, and prevented like 3 different accidents there. I was watching that. Very impressed there from Gibson in the 31 car.
These drivers, though, in the midfield still wicked sideways, especially coming off of turn number 2. It's real bad. Triplet gets around Marasco. Ty Marasco, remember, on right now has not pitted since lap 28, so he is hemorrhaging positions right now, all the way back to 9th, and at risk of losing the top 10 here if Zimmerman could get a good run going on him.
Into turn 3 they go. Williams is going to clear Marasco. The 22. Zimmerman looking up the inside. Smith's running that high lane, trying to keep that bright yellow 70 machine clean, out of accident. He's going to send it 3 wide around the outside of Marasco, and looks like he's going to make it work as the 22. That inside lane seems like get a lot of, the car gets very loose off the inside of the corner, especially if the car on the outside. Big gaggle of cars here coming off of turn 3, side by side, 3 lanes back, and potentially 3 wide as the Cheetos machine there is going to send it up the inside. Everybody's going to live on. Looks like the car, Zimmerman here is the one that seems like he's got the most movement out of his car. And every time he comes off turn 2, that thing just has a massive amount of, correction he's got to put in. Being loose off the corner, oversteered, we call it on the road course side. But he's hanging on to it. I'm impressed.
There's been some good driving so far this afternoon, and this whole pack is a testament to what you can really do if you just get your head down and go to work at Richmond. Lots of thrilling action all throughout the midfield, and admittedly a lot of this right now caused by Marasco being the proverbial cork in the bottle, just because, well, everybody in front of them usually spreading out by 3/10 or more, whereas everybody behind here is packed up within about a second of each other. It's a tight run right now, and Marasco is struggling to hang on to whatever spots he can muster. Connor Gibson looking for the inside, but can't attack down to turn 1.
Yeah, just giving him something in the mirror to look at. I don't think he really intended to send it up the inside of there. That wouldn't be the smartest thing I've seen all night, but just try to give a little something to look at. Just, getting his mirror, getting his head a little bit. I like the play. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Marasco here, maybe the cork in the bottle. You see that finally Bob Berry got by. I would expect the next car would probably be the 19 of Sherman here. It's going to probably send it around the outside, I would imagine. Maybe through 1 and 2 this time. He's very, very close. But yeah, Marasco just not getting the speed out of that Chevrolet. Excuse me, that Ford. I apologize. And but he's holding these guys up. Oh, okay. Hello.
A little bit of a how do you do there from Sherman to the right side door of Gibson, as Corey Sherman tries to now set up an outside pass around the MFRD number 1.
There you go, around the outside, turn 1 and 2 is probably going to give you a little bit in the middle, but you're going to have so much. Look at the diamond off the corner. So much more speed down the back straightaway. I think I saw the 22 get the wall, or the 22, that's the real car. The 35 get the wall off of turn 2 right there again. All right, so again, you got about, 20 laps on these tires. They're up to temperature. The car's going to start doing what it's going to do. You got to start making adjustments. You can't drive it hard the whole way. You got to start backing up some of these corners a little bit. And Gibson here trying to make a move on Marasco. Still can't quite get a nose alongside. And now he might be under threat of getting passed by Gilroy.
And Gibson's got to try to find something new. He's been trying for the inside the last while, and it has not been working for him. He might be trying to think about a run around the outside, but the problem is he's now got Thorpe pinned in on the inside as well, which is not helping matters. Well, all this is going on. You got Zachary Triplet and Sean Williams now battling it out for the 8th place spot, and it looks like Triplet may have just picked off the 84 and puts himself into the number 9 spot. Oh, trouble! Marasco turns sideways through turn 1, slide it out, saves the car, but the caution comes out regardless.
Wow, yeah, now, you know, they were running each other pretty hard there. It looks like somebody finally got in the back of them. That'll happen when you're not quite at the pace of the guys around you. You're gonna that little just, you know, millisecond offset under braking. Looks like it may have been Gibson here. One in the turn 1.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit of nose to rear contact. We've seen that. We've seen that happen a few times tonight.
Just squeaked around the high side there.
Very cleanly done. Look at the 16 car there. 16 car is actually John
Canfield.
Yeah, he did a good job avoiding.
Just
we've seen. That's not the first time we've seen that tonight. Maybe just missed the corner a little bit, or I don't think he intended to, rattle his cage there, but he did.
He did get him a little bit, but could have been a lot worse. It's better than a head-on T-bone impact. This is with Marasco.
He didn't even turn the wheel, but what's the meme of the Smashing Pumpkins guy riding a roller coaster? He's just like, I don't even care. He's just gonna let the car spin and go. Billy Corgan, that's his name. Anyway, yellow flag, pit stops. Kind of a mixed bag here. You've got about 10 cars on pit road there, Nolan, I think. And I mean, this is an interesting play. You're about halfway through your run. You're not at halfway for the race yet. So do you put on your third set of tires? I don't know. That's tough call right now.
What is certain right now is we are 14. Well, I don't know where I got 14 from. We're 7 cautions deep into this race, and we are still not at halfway. We'll return in a moment, once again, on Green Flight TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flight TV. Just getting set to come to the close of yellow flag number 7. Working lap 94 of 200 this afternoon. Brian Dees continues to lead from Lacey, from Paulson, from Hilbrandt, from Ping, from Shire for the top 3 rows.
Yeah, approaching halfway. I mean, you got a few guys here that got, so, first, I guess half race analysis, Nolan. Dees looks strong all night. He is the one that has been up there, able to run to the front. Lacey's been up there as well. Dustin Ping's been up there. Aaron Smith's up to P7 now. I think he's kind of back on the same pit cycle as most of these guys. A lot of good drivers to pick from to make this finish. Let's do the second half. Let's see how it goes.
Lights are on. Green flag drops. We are back underway. Brian Dees, unsurprisingly, clears from Lacey early on. It's the battle between Paulson and Hilbrandt for the number 3 spot as they fight their way off of turn number 2.
A couple guys smacking the wall out of turn 2 right there. It's kind of high-fiving on the way by. Yeah, you got Dees up front, and Lacey. Hildebrandt's going to slot in the 3rd. You got a nice side-by-side battle there for 4th between Paulson and Scheider there. So turn one, yeah, lots of battles on track. Aaron Smith there's going to run the low lane. He's still working his way up in that 70 machine. Side by side down the back straightaway here. I'm kind of squinting. I'm just waiting for either something to happen or it to settle down, because we've seen how this works out before, especially with about a third of these guys actually on fresh tires now too. So they're going to be the ones making big moves.
Battle is also on for the race lead as Benjamin Lacey trying to mount a second offensive on Brian Dees down the inside at turn numbers 3 and 4. Still alongside as they're going to work their way back down to the turn number 1. Lacey down low, Dees up on top. Is this enough to take away the top spot? It's going to be close, but Brian Dees with some overlap down the back stretch into turn number 3. And Lacey still has not cleared for the lead.
Now that outside lane's strong enough to hang on for a little while. I don't know if D is going to be able to hang on for a long time here. The entry in right there, that's where you get so much advantage. Get back on the power, you get the run off the corner. You see Lacey there get a big snap of oversteer off the corner. Car gets very, very loose. He's going to hang on to it through 3 and 4. Is he going to clear? Maybe a slide job coming out of turn 4. Not going to happen this time by. Still side by side into turn 1. It's going to be Lacey hitting the lead though.
Benjamin Lacey, oh, he's not clear yet. Brian Dees still stuffing it in there around the outside. So Benjamin Lacey trying and trying. He just cannot get the number 7 clear. And I think finally he's got it. After nearly 10 laps, coming around through turn number 4 down to turn 1.
Yeah, it was a battle there, but they worked it out. Lacey is able to get the position, get the point. D's going to drop in behind. Aaron Smith making a move up the inside here of Scott Shire. Thinking about it, kind of poking a nose in, saying, hey, I'm here. He's going to push Shire up the track. They're going to go side by side on the front straightaway. That's going to move Aaron Smith up to position number 4 on track. Remember, he pitted though about 9 laps after all these guys around him, so he can go a little bit longer on fuel, a little bit fresher tires than the rest. Jumping further back there, it's going to be the 89 of Sean Williams. He's racing Ty Marasco there, and a little further behind him is going to be Corey Sherman, as they look up and set a battle on the front straightaway here into turn 1.
John Osborne leaving pit road after nearly over 16 minutes of repairs, but that right front has seen better days. So I will not be surprised if he moves for about 100 feet, maybe half a lap, and then just parks it right away. There's no way that car is going to make it for more than a lap.
No, that wasn't looking good at all there. That wasn't looking like something he can race. So yeah, bring it around, bite the bullet, be done with it. You see, Aaron Smith there kind of wiggling around, kind of pick a little move there on P3 Hildebrand. It's not going to happen. But looking live here at Marasco, Zachary Triplett. Marasco around the outside is going to hold on to that position and pull away. It'll keep him in P9 as Sherman gets it by further back behind. He's going to go ahead and pass Bob Berry, get him up in the top 10.
And there's the defending champion, Dustin Ping, trying to take to the inside of Derek Paulson. Down to the turn number 1. Paulson with the run off of 4. Ping sized him up for the first corner now. Once again, the Ping Precision Auto Glass number 81 Chevy Camaro. Just can't get clear from that Mustang up on top. Derek Paulson has been some great defensive driving. They may have made a little bit of contact that last time there.
Yeah, you guys, this is about how far we went the first time before we had that yellow after that long green flag run. The tires now starting to fall off. You're about halfway through your run here, maybe a little further than halfway actually. Tires are starting to give up. Depending on how you drove them determines how they're going to feel right now. Some of these guys have a little more grip. Some of these guys maybe have the right front worn down, maybe the right rear worn down if you put a lot of power off the corners. So you're going to start to see some guys pull away, some guys starting to struggle. The high lane becomes good on some cars, low lane on the others. But yeah, looking up front, Nolan, actually Aaron Smith there side by side moving up to P3. He's going to pass Hildebrand. Not quite clear him off turn 2. Hildebrand's going to hold the outside, but I think Smith's going to dive him into turn 3 here. Nice clean racing, a little good racing further back as well. Clear him off of turn 4, perhaps not quite in the turn 1. Still side by side for third spot.
Tony Hilbrand's doing a great job on trying to hold one to the outside of Aaron Smith. There is Hilbrands will just keep his nose clean. So Aaron Smith will steal the final podium position. Further behind, Dustin Pink, Derek Paulson, and more still in their own little grudge match throughout the top 10.
Some of these, this race here is getting pretty spicy too. There's not a lot of air between these cars through the corner. That makes me nervous sometimes, especially for Marasco. Marasco drives it in so deep, runs a little bit lower. You see Paulson ahead of him there in that 6 machine. Oh no, trouble turn 1. That's going to be Hilbrands. I think he got the wall out of turn 4. No yellow. There's the yellow. Yep. I think he got the wall out of turn 4, and then when he checked up, he just got run over. We'll get a replay of it, I'm sure, but that's a good timing for a yellow flag. I don't think you can make it on from here. You got to make at least one more pit stop, but if you save that 3rd set of tires, you go put those on now. Gives you a clean run for the last pit stop.
That was already in progress, but you see Hilbrand's going for a big slide to the inside.
I don't think he hit anything, did he? No, so he got a little damage on the rear, but never hit a wall, aside from maybe the turn 4 wall coming out of the corner. I'd like to see that from Marasco's view. Marasco did a great job. Yeah, got the wall out of 4, checked up. A lot of guys there kind of running each other over, checking up. I think Marasco, they had a great view through the middle of that. But green flag pit stops here. I'm sorry, not green flag, but second round of pit stops here, Nolan.
Benjamin Lacey leads the field down to pit road. Brian Zimmerman, you see him ducking into his box. This time, nobody gambling on staying out. Everybody will be down and into pit road. 4 tires and fuel looking to be the universal call so far. Can't imagine why anybody would go otherwise right now, but hey, you never know in this league. We'll let you know if somebody does go for the gamble. But not looking like that's going to be the case so far here.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty clear. Go ahead and fill it up, put 4 tires on it. Like I said, you're not going to be able to make it to the end from here, so this is just going to get you to the last pit stop. That's the goal right now. And it's funny to see, when do you place the last pit stop? Like when do you do it? Because if you have a green-white checker or something, you know, you want to save a set of tires for that. Here's the view from Marasco. Watch this. Whoop. Ooh. It was a little spicier on the end there than I was expecting, but this is on board Dustin Ping, who you called out live. Wow. Oh, that was more impressive. Yeah, great job from Ping there on the brakes. Avoiding that one. Wow.
Man. Tony Hilbert did a pretty good job of keeping that off of the inside wall as well, but yeah, he just hit the outside wall. There was nowhere for Scott Shire to take that as Hilbrands slid down to the inside. Let the yellow come out, then got it back rolling. As this field works its way around, potential problems for Zachary Triplett. Showing that he's at least come to a stop, and looking like he just had to let drivers through, but well, we got our 8th yellow flag. It's been an exciting one so far, though, this afternoon, and there's a lot of excitement coming on up over the next little while, including some more short track action less than 24 hours from now. The OMSRL Cup Series will close out their regular series season and reset the top 10 for the playoffs tomorrow night at the North Wilkesboro Speedway over in North Carolina, and then the day after, where one season closes the regular season, another series closes its championship altogether, with the Beer League having their season 8 finale at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps from the Ardennes. And then on Thursday, the Speed Cup Series back to regularly scheduled programming, running at the Kansas Speedway, one of the most treacherous 1.5 miles out there, at 9:15 p.m. on Thursday night. So lots to be excited about coming on up.
Kansas, such a great track, especially running that high line run against that wall. One of my favorite tracks to run in the ovals, man. Just put it against the wall and peg the throttle. I love to see it. Of course, Beer League, you know, Wednesday night, it's going to be the season finale for season 8, running at Spa. I heard it might rain. Always exciting to watch the guys drinking booze at the same time. So we'll see how it goes, especially after the championships already decided after the previous race. But here we go. 116 laps in the book, Nolan.
Starting lap 117, Lacey picks the outside lane for the restart, and he got a good launch down to turn number 1. Aaron Smith clears for second. Brian Dees clears for third. The top 5, top 6, all getting single file. Battles on for 7th and back.
Yeah, big gaggle of cars here trying to sort it out from 7th on back. Oh, I saw the 89 car almost get in the back of the 41 there. Everybody's able to survive. Little up that car in the wall on a turn 4 right there. He's going to kiss it on the way by. He's going to continue down. No problem done. As everybody toes their way around. A lot of these guys remember fresh tires. We see how hard it was on the last restart with fresh tires, especially at the start of the race too, right? You got Thor. Look at Thor running the wall up there, trying to get as much speed off the corner. Look at all that extra speed. I love to see that. He's going to dive it up the inside, 3 wide. Into turn 1, runs the O-line, does a great job slowing the car down, give room off the corner.
Oh boy.
Looks like he did, barely did. That's also, I think it worked out great because Bob Berry backed out right there. I think saved an accident from happening.
That was a wild move for Thorpe to take that one down to the inside, but it's like I was saying earlier, he is go big or go home. Dalton Kilrow gets by his MFRD teammate, and Benjamin Lacey could be under fire here for the lead pretty soon, as Aaron Smith is trying to close the gap.
Aaron Smith, remember, another one of these drivers that we had our picks on last week at Daytona. Super fast driver, very smart in the way he drives that race car. He is back on the same strategy as everybody else now at this point. I think he's tried his alternate strategy, didn't quite work out, but he's back in the same spot through fate, and that is a car that I got my money on tonight. Aaron Smith, P2, that bright yellow 70 machine, trying to run down Benjamin Lacey, our Richmond race winner from last time. Brian D, strong car all night. Dustin Pink, strong car all night, rounds out your top 4. Any one of these 4 drivers here can win this race. 78 laps to go. Anybody's race up in the air right now.
Further behind them, Thorpe still on the move. He's going to take one away from Marasco, trying to make a relatively cut and dry overtake into turn number 4. Thorpe's got him through 1. So Lacey not fighting that one too much. Meanwhile, the 31 and the 9 in a battle of their own, and even further up the road, Scott Shire looking to attack Bob Berry.
Bob Berry's kind of going the wrong direction here ever since that restart. He's dropped back a few positions. Now side by side, like you mentioned with Shire here. And Berry's got a little wiggle there in the turn 1. I don't think he quite has the confidence in that race car. Get a little bit of bump there in the hood too. That's not gonna. Actually, we're looking on Paulson. I apologize. But Aaron Smith, though, running down our race leader. It looks like a shark hunting a prey right now, matching him move for move right in his wheel tracks. Not phased by anything behind. Smith looks like he's hunting his prey right now, and he's got Benjamin Lacey in his targets.
Top 4 all under a blanket. 75 laps to go in this one. So still a very long way to go, and technically still a whole fuel window left to go as well for these drivers, because when they went green, they were right at the cusp of what we're able to make it. So I think we're still going to be in for a splash and go pit stop before the end of this one. So if yellow comes out, I would expect to see pretty much everybody coming on down to at least get the fuel to go the distance. Do they go for tires? I say wait until about 30 or 20 to go. Then if yellow comes out, you got to set for later.
Yeah, I think that's the right play, Nolan. I think you're right on the head there. You don't want to put them on too early and burn them down for the green-white checker that you know most likely will probably come out. Big gaggle of cars off turn 2. I think Marasco there may have gotten the wall off turn 2. I need to go back and look at that to see. He had a big wiggle. I think that or he got really loose off the corner there. But yeah, I think there's strategy here. Taking fuel, not taking the tires. I think you've only got 1 set left. If I did the math right, you get 4 sets of tires. You started on 1. You had 2 yellows already where they changed. You got 1 set left to change onto. Definitely save that for something meaningful at the end. And just count your lucky stars that you actually get to use them the right way.
been such a good race so far. I mean, it had a bit of a rocky start, but I mean, the racing ever since has been on point. Lots of side-by-side everywhere. There's Tony Hilbrands trying to claw his way back through the field after getting into the wall, which caused him to be spun out by Scott Shire. You see him fighting his way back to the 16th place spot. Hilbrands, a driver that has been struggling, I think, to find a little bit of his footing this afternoon, but it's a new car, and it's the third new car in as many seasons that this league has done. It was Gen 7 for Season 1, Gen 4 for Season 2, and now the B-Class car. So we're not even in a Cup car anymore. So it's a big adjustment that you have to adapt to quickly, but Hilbrands, as he showed in the Gen 4 car, he's able to make those quick adaptations, and we could see him getting his form back later on in the season.
Yeah, he didn't quite have a great run at Daytona. I mean, I think he finished outside of the top 30, and a big wiggle there off of turn 2, right when we were talking about him. But yeah, it did have a great run at Daytona. Trying to get a good rebound tonight. He's working his way back up toward the front, top half of the field tonight. It's good. Hopefully, you know, toward the end of the race, he can start moving his way up. But speaking of moving your way up to the front, look at this. The lead pack now separated into 2 sets of 2. Smith still staying right in the wheel track of Lacey. Lacey, big wiggle off of turn 4 right there. That's going to get Smith right up on his bumper. I mean, Smith probably could make a move here if he wants. But yeah, I was just getting ready to say, you're starting to get to the point where the tires are not really new anymore. And you saw it right there. Benjamin Lacey off the corner, big snap of loose oversteer off the corner there. I think Aaron Smith running in his tire track. He's slowly saving it here. And now he's in a great spot to go for the lead. I think anytime he really wants to, as they approach lap traffic.
He might wait until they do get to lap traffic, though, because then he gets the opportunity to try to use that traffic as a pick, which is a tactic that we've been seeing a lot in other Cup Series on Green Flight TV, most notably last week in the ASRL Next Gen Cup Series. Oh, the 35 of Keith Lee stepping it out sideways, still trying to save it. He'll pedal it through 3 and 4 and manage to hang on.
Oh, I thought that was a wreck. I saw him like he was going around. I thought that was an accident happening right there. Heck of a save there from Keith Lee. Great job gathering that car up. Great job for everybody around him not running him over. But yeah, tires aren't new anymore, Nolan. They're starting to show their age. And we've still got 64 laps to go here. It's a long time for that final set. You want to run these tires you have now as long as you can. Get to the end of this race and save that last set for the final run for sure. But it's getting hard, getting really hard.
There you see Jonathan Canfield caught up in a few incidents tonight. And making a good run as they come around through turn numbers 1 and 2. Sorry. Connor Gibson to Tony Hilbrands also side by side. Hilbrands back to 13th, and now Smith close as ever to the race lead. And the battle's also on for 3rd.
Yeah, I think everybody's starting to kind of discover those alternate lines here. As you see, D's working on lap traffic here. That's the 83 car. Justin Greenwell is going to go lap down. Already lapped down from the leaders. Now he's lapped down 3rd, 4th as well. First car on the lead lap, as you can see. But now, 84 of Lakey is going to get put a lap down from our race leader. You see Smith still slowly. I got the feeling Smith here can really go. If he wants to, he can make the move, but he's choosing not to. He's being very intentional about just running right behind Lacey here and just kind of stalking his prey. There's an intimidation factor when you're not, especially if you're someone like Lacey, you know, you're running your laps, you're running your marks. Maybe you're not quite running exactly 100%. You're running maybe like 95, 96. You know, you're saving tires a little bit. But you notice that Smith behind you is not dropping back. He's running your pace with you. It becomes a mind game. It becomes a mind game between the drivers. Who pushes who? Now, I want to say maybe Lacey's running harder because we saw off turn 4 about 5 laps ago that number 7 Ford start to snap around off the corner. And I mean, Aaron Smith looks smooth. Looks very much in control of that race car. Looks very smooth. And still, I think he's ready to pounce whenever the opportunity presents itself. Look at this tight battle on turn 4. Oh boy, I thought that was a wreck. But they survived.
No kidding. I was about to say, I thought we just about had a wreck too. Taking a look at how close that did end up being. There you see this happened right in front of Dustin Ping and Brian Dees. There you see Ping shooting for the inside, and then Zimmerman put 2 lap cars. Lake and Satmary 3 wide, and goodness gracious. Talk about leaning on the door there with the 84 and the 22.
How is that not a wreck? As you saw, I mean, that's usually an iRacing wreck all day just from netcode, but this is getting spicy. Side by side back here for what's his third place is Lakey and sorry, not Lakey, I apologize. Thorpe and Kilroe. They're naturally in for 5th place, 6th place, sorry. And so there, yeah, so Thorpe kind of working his way back up to the front. Probably already used that one fast repair we were talking about earlier after the incident where he got caught up in the wreck at the back of the field early in this event. Both these guys trying to work their way back up to the front. Now they're still running though, about 4 seconds behind the race leader, and slowly actually losing time, probably because they're racing side by side. They settle in line. That's what you should do. Run single file. Ooh, that was close there through turn 2.
And you got Ty Marasco trying to mount an offensive on Derek Paulson, as Paulson looking like he could be under some more fire. And again, these are MFRD teammates here. But Marasco, I think at some point has got to realize at what point do you need to go for that move, right? Because you can't, it's a teammate, right? But you can't be held up by your own teammate. It's not much of a team there. Sooner or later, he's got to go for it if he's being held up.
Yeah, you got to go for it at some point. I mean, remember, we're not quite 50 to go yet. We're still a little bit of time left in this race. I mean, if we go green flag to the end, we're talking about 20, 25 minutes here of racing. It's a long time in these cars. And if I were a driver, I'd still count on at least one more yellow at this point, or else we're having green flag pit stops, and that'll probably cause the last yellow, because going into pit road here is a little tricky under green flag conditions. As I was watching up front. I mean, Lakey almost caused a wreck there on coming off turn number 4. That was close, but yeah, I think the tires are going off here, Nolan. We're starting to see these guys start sliding around. We're going to see who's been able to save them. I'm curious if Smith's going to have a run in Lacey here in the next 5-10 laps or so.
We're on the longest green flag run that we have had all race long. And that run being, well, about 30 to 40 laps now. You can see just how quickly this field spreads apart once everybody gets settled into their own little battle packs. It's amazing how side-by-side action at the front keeps the pack so consistently tight for so long. And then once everybody starts to string out, how quickly this racing gets to be single file. As you see Thorpe trying to mount another offensive on Dalton Kilroe through turns 1 and 2. He gets to the back bumper that time, almost moved him out of the way.
Yeah, I think, again, as the tires start to go down, if you're trying to save, you're going to keep saving. If you're done saving, you're going to start making moves. I don't think we're quite at the point where the tempers are going to start going, but you start sticking noses under quarter panels like that, and accidents can happen very quickly, especially when you got cars that are struggling for grip here. I'm watching some of the lap traffic up near the leaders, man, just smacking the wall trying to get out of the way. It seems like that may cause an accident as well. But yeah, I mean, so you keep control of your car, slowly run down the guy ahead of you. Aaron Smith all over the back of our race leader again.
He has been absolutely on it this entire time, and as we try to get a look on the lap counters here, kind of see who's where, you can really see Smith's been keeping very consistent lap times with Benjamin Lacey. It does make you wonder if perhaps Smith is the faster of these two. He's just waiting for a hole to open.
Yeah, I would think at this point, I mean, I feel like Smith, the fact he's able to just to kind of ride right there shows me he's got the speed in that race car. So yeah, now we're looking at Thorpe trying to make another move on Kilroy. I think he's going to get him in the turn number 1. Is he going to clear him off of 2? Though he should be able to, and he does.
Oh, Kilroe power sliding behind though. tried to get back to him to try to go for the over-under into turn number 3. It didn't end up happening, but there was certainly an effort for it. There you see Carter Phillips down low on the apron. Further behind, Scott Shire attacking Ty Marasco down towards turn 1. But just like before, just can't get the nose in.
Yeah, it's hard now. These tires getting warmed down. It's hard to get that grip on the inside lane off the corner, because that's where you're going to feel the most wear on the tire. When you're on power, you're on throttle, especially on that right rear, as all the weight's on the back of the race car. You'll get that push. You get that push off, and you might get that snap oversteer as the car comes off the banking. And when you got a car on the outside like that, both of those are terrifying things to experience. And outside lane, I think if you kind of run that one lane up off the bottom, kind of run that first dash white line off the corner, it's going to be very, very hard for someone to pass you coming off the corner here on both sides. See that snap? There's the snap oversteer right there from Ethan Sikorsky on the inside. You saw it happen. That's going to let Gibson take the position into turn 1. Sikorsky's going to try to clear, but watch this run off the corner. Look at that run off the corner from Gibson. Enough to clear him by the time he gets to turn 3.
Further behind, sounds like Michael Keithley might be nursing a problem as the report for race control. This car is evidently trying to battle with some, I believe, water temps here, because this car is at risk of blowing up right now. So the discount tire number 35 looking like it's managing that pace a little bit more, trying to keep temps down.
He's got a little damage on the front of the car. Of course, these guys all run fixed setup. They're all running the same setups on these cars. But that damage on the front end can definitely impact airflow.
Look how dirty it is as well.
Yeah, he's running that high lane. I think he's trying to stay out of the way for some of these guys, I think, as well. Perhaps a lot of something going on there for sure.
Yeah, I don't think all of that grime on the grill is going to be helping matters. There you see Brian Zimmerman, Michael Thorpe Jr. still in the battle for the last spot inside the top 5, and Smith continuing to get ever closer to Benjamin Lacey. He got down to just a 1/10 of a second a few laps ago, but it still wasn't enough to go for a proper look for position. But showing again that if the door opens, he's going to be right there.
Yeah, I think he's got the speed. I think he's just kind of being patient, waiting for his time to come around, waiting for the opportunity to go for the race lead. But right now he's tucking back in line, making it work out. So green flag pit stops should be due here, Nolan. I would say in the next 20 laps, which happens fast here. So let's keep an eye on that. Maybe do you go for the undercut? Do you put him on early? Probably not likely, but it's something to keep an eye on. I think at this point, you got about the last pit stop is on lap 112 for all these guys. They said about 75 laps for a tank of fuel. That puts us down to about 15, 13 to go before we have to pit again. So let's say about 20 laps, and that window is going to be open for folks that need to come in. If it's green flag pit stops, I mean, do you go for 2 tires and try to keep the track position? Or do you put on all 4 and hope something good comes your way? Because you don't need a full tank of fuel to get to the end.
If it's only 15 laps, I wouldn't take tires at all. Go out there, fuel only. Try to run it out dry. And frankly, I think people are only going to realistically try to take tires. Well, I say that Michael Ashmore's in right now, and he looks like he's getting all 4 plus a little bit of damage repairs done. But personally, if you're looking to run the tank out dry and you're only pitting in with about 15 to go.
Oh, race lead.
Just
side
take
by
fuel
side
only.
in the turn number 3. I forgot what number it was. Smith's making his move. Here we go. He waited for about 50 laps. Now side by side, cross start finish line. Smith on the inside, Lacey on the outside. Smith's going to dive it into turn 1, hold that yellow line around the racetrack. Lacey's going to try to hold him on the high side. Big power off the corner is going to keep it side by side on the back straightaway. 2 by 2 into the turn number 3. Still side by side for the race lead. Lacey holding strong on that outside lane.
Oh, a bit of contact there, though, as they cross the line. Aaron Smith holds the inside, but Benjamin Lacey looking to stuff it in around the long way around. Turn numbers 1 and 2. It's a dead heat down the backstretch still. Neither driver giving an inch right now. Fighting their way off of turn numbers 3 and 4. Benjamin Lacey kicking the tail end out. Smith leads that last lap by 33 to go in their double file for the race lead.
Coming up on some lap traffic here, too. You got to get this move done before you get to those drivers. Caution. Wreck out of turn 4. That's going to be Marasco's around. May have collected the 83 car of Jason Greenwell, who was a lap down. And I think Smith's going to keep the lead. So here it is. This should be an automatic final pit stop. I'd reckon 4 tires, enough fuel to get to the end. And
now you take all 4 tires. It's pretty easy now.
So this is the 83 car going in the turn number 3.
Lost it.
Yeah, it's just a little too much speed. And Marasco, I think, got collected here. Nowhere to go. Going to help him around for the fans. Oh, and then he gets spun around for the fans to go along with it. Yeah, just tires going down right there. I mean, tires are getting old. A little too much speed into the corner. I mean, honestly, Greenwell did a good job locking that thing down. I mean, Marasco just had nowhere to go. But all right, let's see the race off pit road. You got Smith, Lacey, Ping, Thorpe, all nose to tail. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's going to get the win, or who's going to get the win off of pit road? 2 tires? I don't know. Let's see. Anything's possible now.
Everybody down and in. I would be shocked if anybody took only 2, sorry. But it's been known to happen from time to time. So far, everybody opting for 4. Corey Sherman got the lucky dog free pass. They'll be at this time by. They just got the way around the iRacing safety car. Kevin Foster taking fuel only. And we reset to restart his race in the top 10 as the lap car of Sherman comes down to pit road. So 30 laps to go. Status quo for all but 1. And Kevin Foster, I don't think is going to be hanging in the top 10 for very long. We'll be back in a moment for the last 30 laps on Green Flag TV. Getting set to go back to Green Flag Racing. 27 the mark. Green Flag is back in the air. We are underway. Aaron Smith hopping away. And now it's a mad scramble from here to the end.
Dustin Ping did not get a great start right there. He's going to lose a position to Michael Thorpe Jr. He's going to pass him on the outside, clear him off of turn number 2. 27 laps to go, 4 wide.
Oh, boy.
Into turn 3 at Richmond, boys. Be careful with that. And they maybe survived, you reckon? Somebody got the wall, but they all survived. Wow.
And don't speak too soon. They're still looking for some 3 wide. And remember, all of these drivers are now on some cold tires as well, which is not making things any easier. Thorpe still trying to mount a charge on Aaron Smith up the road. Dustin Ping running behind with that number 81. Dalton Kilrow hanging on for the outside line and looking like we got one going around. Oh, Darren Paulson drilled in the driver's side door by Kevin Foster.
Yep, another wreck off turn 2. It's been a trouble spot tonight. Now, what did we learn on that restart there? Aaron Smith had a good start. I learned that Dustin Ping had a bad start right there. Thorpe is back up. I don't think he has any fast repairs left. I don't think Smith has used any. Here's a replay of the incident. This is going into turn number 1. Paulson was up there near the front, just got in hot. Too much speed. And look at the 17, whoa it up. He's going to throw him around just to say high five, have fun, see you later. And, oh,
Ouch.
8 car, nowhere to go. That's Kevin Foster checking into the broadcast tonight. He's going to collect it right in the door. Gets a heart from one of his fans in the chat. Foster's been getting a lot of love tonight. Not having a great run, but, oof. And then he got hit from the back too when he got stopped. So, hey, the race ain't over yet though. You still got 20-something laps to go. Still anybody's race. Foster, this is riding on board. Foster through 1 and 2, so he slows down. Just looking for where do you go? Where do you go? Oh, not right there. Oh, yep. Bad luck for Foster, but that's all right. Re-rack it, do it again. Hey, you got 20 laps to go. This race ain't done.
Paul's going around. There's Foster stacking it in, and it's the 35, Keithley, just barely caught him.
So here we go, 22 to go. So this is about the phase I think we were all kind of expecting tonight. Give me 20 laps to go. These laps happen fast. Remember, they're about 20-second lap, or excuse me, about a, well, yeah, I guess about 20-second lap time here, right? So 22 to go, you're looking at less than 10 minutes of green flag racing. It happens fast.
That's assuming we go green all the way, but you've still got 20-plus cars that are on the racetrack. All of them are desperate for positions. They know they're running out of time with every single yellow flag lap we pace. That only turns the aggression up more. There's a very old adage in racing, cautions breed cautions. For short track racing, that statement almost always rings true in the final quarter of the race.
Yeah, tracks like this, absolutely. I mean, especially if you're going double file. Man, take a deep breath. As a driver, this is when your nerves really start firing. You've been running here now for a couple hours. You're feeling that, your bottom is feeling the numbness of the chair, like all these. You're starting to feel all these things, and it's time to bring it home. This is where you earn your money, which a lot of these guys are just running in their bedroom somewhere, right? But I love it. It's the dedication to the racing. Let's look at the 19 car. I was understanding he maybe got hit for an unsafe pit exit. What did I see here?
I'd assume merging onto the track too soon, but he definitely merged onto the track in time. I wonder, because he was merging. Yeah, he might have exited when the pit exit was still closed.
Yeah, it may have been a different. I noticed that message from race control too was about a solid 5 minutes ago, so maybe that was a previous yellow. I don't know. But
you're right. It could have been.
Here we go. Thorpe on the inside. Let's say Aaron Smith's going to go to the outside this time.
The outside lane's a popular one on late race restarts because of how good that outside lane is for defensive driving. Not to mention, if you can get clear, it saves you from having to juke to the outside to get a good arc into turn number 1 to get away. So this is a wise move from Smith. He's won quite a few races before taking these restart calls. We'll see if this will be another one. Thorpe spins the tires. We're underway again at Richmond.
3 wide further back. Look at Lacey trying to send it up the inside of the 81 of Dustin Ping. Ping's going to give him room. 3 wide off of turn 2. I don't know, boys. Lacey gets a little bit sideways. Going to lose 5, 6, 7 positions down the back straightaway. And I think he's going to drive on from there. That was an aggressive move. Didn't work off for Lacey on that restart.
Didn't work at all. Tony Hilbrands tries to cut down low. No room as Lacey stuffs it in there and slams the doors shut. So Tony Hilbrands couldn't get to the bottom. Bob Berry battled it out with Ty Marasco as well up the road. Marasco trying to find a hole. He's going to just get in between Berry and Hilbrands as they work off of turn number 4.
Lots of good racing through the pack here right now, side by side. Numerous places across the racetrack. 17 laps to go. Anybody's race still open at this point. Bob Barrett on the outside, Marasco on the inside. Bunch of cars 3 wide further back. That's the 9 car of Osapek. It's going to dive it up the inside. Push up high off the corner. It's not going to work. As you see, further ahead of him is going to be Gibson. And it was Sikorsky there, going to keep running down the road there. Now you got Marasco side by side with Hilbrands here off of turn 2.
Dustin Ping still fighting it out as well with Brian Zimmerman as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. So Ping and Zimmerman having a good run at it. Zimmerman up to the high side. Ping down to the low side. The Ping Precision Auto Glass number 81 Camaro. Still trying to fight his way around the USA Firearms number 22. Mustang into the outside wall. They're both going around. Look out as Ping somehow recovers. No, he doesn't. Ping finally loses it up in turn 4. Caution is out, but what an effort.
Oh, bad news for Ping.
Oh boy, they wrecked again.
Another wreck of Marasco's around the front straightaway. I was just going to say, Ping was chasing that car for about a third of the way around the racetrack. Finally caught up to him. I don't think he ever really hit anything to his credit. I don't know what happened to Marasco on the start-finish line. That may have been a separate incident altogether. But let's get a replay here. This is Ping on the inside. Oh, the 22. Zimmerman got the wall and started getting the hops. Oh, just got collected. And then Ping's going to bounce off of D's here. I wonder if D's got any damage from there. Look at this job. And he, oh, wow, becomes Barry flying through there. And that's where, oh, they were squeezing, trying to get by. Marasco goes around off the nose of Lacey there. And he doesn't hit anything either. Does a 16. Foster. Foster does a great job. Oh, I'm sorry, Canfield. Sorry. Canfield does a great job of avoiding. Yeah, just when I think I learned the paint schemes. I try to call it off memory, and nope, I'm wrong. But, ooh.
I wonder, I think Ping honestly probably could have saved that if he didn't hit D's there. He had something working for him.
I wonder how much damage both of them got right there. What a great job running the camera right there. That was smooth. But yeah, I wonder. I mean, those two hit pretty hard in turn 3. Watch right here. So he doesn't really get the wall, but bam, right there. That's a solid hit between 2 guys that were running in the top 4 essentially all night. D's on the outside, Ping on the inside of his car. As the Dairy Queen machine. Well,
it's actually the quote-unquote disqualified machine.
yeah, that machine. And right. Ooh, that's a solid thunk right there.
It sounded, I mean, Ping was relatively unmoved. It sounded more like Brian Dees took the brunt of that. I mean, take a listen on more than him now. You hear exactly what I mean? I mean, it sounds more like that all came from Dees than Ping.
That may have been. I'm curious if you can get inside his car to see his steering wheel angle before and after that.
It's still relatively straight.
Yeah. Maybe he got away with it. Well, he won't know until the next green flag restarts, so we'll find out together. This is going down into turn number, this is off Canfield, the 16 car. He's the one that almost got in the back, I think, of Marasco off the corner. Oh, boy, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? You picked the right side. the one comes up. Wow. Gold star, Mr. Canfield, for avoiding an accident there. That's the best you could have done.
No ruling, at least that we can see from race control on any EOLs for this incident, but we'll restart this one with 9 to go, and, well, call me crazy here, Chris. I don't think we're done yet. Field will work their way through turn numbers 1 and 2, back around to the back straightaway, and we'll look to restart again. 9 laps the distance. Less than 5 minutes of running left, assuming this goes green to the end. But there's a pretty good chance that we're going to be going into overtime this afternoon. Oh, Kilmer tried to jump, and Kilmer spins to the inside. He's going to just keep it under control. Smith taken away down to turn number 1. It's all coming together now as this pack fighting its way into turn numbers 3 and 4. Smith hanging on for the lead. D second, Thorpe third. Shire and Barry side by side for 4th and 5th.
That was a wild restart there. He got jumbled up very quickly. It did not quite go the way they wanted for Kilrow. And everybody bunched up. Keep an eye on this battle. These guys are spicy. 8 laps to go. Looks like Smith got a great restart. Big gaggle of cars down the back straightaway here. Everybody trying to find their spot. Everybody getting loose off the corner. This ain't over in a long way.
Oh, multiple cars getting into the wall. Sean Williams into the fence. He's just going to keep it under control. Meanwhile, they're looking for 3 wide deeper in the field. Look at the 19 of Sherman trying to stuff it in there, but he's got nowhere to take the run. Zimmerman, Hilbrands, and Barry all hanging on as they work their way into turn numbers 3 and 4. John Osborne is around off of turn number 2 by himself.
No yellow. Everybody's green flag.
Now it's there.
The leader's coming up. Yep. Leaders coming up, they throw the yellow 60. This will get us into green-white checker territory and into overtime as, yeah, these restarts start to get wild. That was actually relatively clean. Bad news for Kilrow there on the restart. It went from 2nd all the way down to 5th place on that restart. Get another look at this is going to be John Osborne. Let's see, as he enters turn number 1 all by himself. And, yeah, just gets loose on entry, and around goes the Valvoline Ford.
It's just insult to injury after the night that he's had. I mean, remember all the struggles he's had trying to get that car back out, and it's a tough break indeed. Let's ride on board.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing you want to do is be the guy doing a solo spin, bringing up the yellow with like 5 to go in the race.
When you're like 30 laps down.
It's not the attention that you want to get to the race car, but here we are, and there you go. So back to the restart. I'm maybe green-white checker is 4 to go. Might get 1 to go next time by. That would put us at 2 to go. So definitely green-white checker this opportunity. Aaron Smith out front didn't quite get the finish at Daytona he wanted. He got up there. I remember he had an up and down night that night. He got up to 4th, I think, at the very end of that incident we had at the end of the race there, but. He's looking really strong for a win tonight. Also up front, though, you got Brian Dees, another driver that's been strong all night, running up front with Smith. Michael Thorpe Jr. up there as well. Scott Shire up there. Dalton Kilrow, hopefully trying to get a better restart this time by. And who's your money on, Nolan, at this phase of the race? I mean, this is going to be wild. No one.
Well, every time I try that, they always lose, so no one for now.
Man. And the lights are staying on, so we are definitely going into green-white checker territory here. At least 2 more laps under yellow. Everybody should definitely be good on fuel. Hopefully on the pit stop, You put enough fuel in for the green-white checker intent. So we get us. If I remember, he told me last week, you get what, as many as you need here in the Tide Racing League, right?
3 attempts.
Three attempts. Okay, there you go. So 3's enough to put extra fuel in the tank, though. Absolutely. Look at our pace car driver, so happy.
Well, he's getting his money's worth. he's been putting through his paces. He's been really earning that paycheck today. He didn't get to do that a whole lot last season.
Look how happy he is, just living his best life, running that pace car. I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to do the same thing. So.
Barney the Flagman needs to lighten up a bit. He's always got a big frown on his face, you know.
Not this guy. This guy's happy. So, all right, here we go. Green-white checkers officially announced from race control.
Not quite. We've well, the overtime is announced, but lights are still on.
Yeah, I wonder what we're waiting on here. I think everybody's on track.
Just waiting for the pit cycles to cycle through and everything like that, because that's the thing, right? I mean, once you get the when you get cars that are lapped out, it automatically tags on an extra lap at any track that's under 2 miles, just to give them an extra chance to pit.
Field makes their way off of turn 4. And finally, the lights go off the pace car. Green-white checker attempt number 1 coming up. It's going to be Aaron Smith II on the outside of row number 1 as your race leader. We've seen all night that race leader get great restarts because you get to control the pace. You get to control when everybody goes. Do you go early? Do you go late? Do you hold them? Do you kind of bunch them up a little bit? You know, what is the play? You obviously want to make it at least 1 lap to get to the white flag. I don't think we've seen a single case. Actually, I think on the second restart, they were side by side through 1 and 2. But Brian D is there for it. Shire and Thorpe ready to capitalize if they need to as well.
Green flag is out. We're into the Geico restart zone for what could be the final time. 2-lap dash to decide it. Brian Dees and Scott Shire side by side as they fight their way into turn numbers 1 and 2. Dees pull, not quite pulling clear. Shire still has momentum in. That is exactly what Smith wants to see. Aaron Smith will work his way off the final corner. He'll take the white flag officially. 1 lap to go. No yellow flag, nobody crashing on the final, on the second to last lap. As Aaron Smith ripping clear. They are still battling it out for second behind. Nobody is even close. There goes Keithley sliding on the back straightaway. The 70 comes out at turn number 4, and Aaron Smith takes a walk-off win at Richmond.
What a race to the finish there for second place between Dees and Shire. Big wreck across the finish line. They're still wrecking as a few more cars get involved. But yeah, it's going to be Smith, Dees, Shire across the line. Thorpe will finish 4th. Kilroe does finish in 5th. Hillbrands, look at the drift, by the way, from Smith, showing off for the fans. Love to see it. He's going to keep it off the wall. Not quite. I don't know if he does it. He got close. Look at it burning down. That's a great burnout for the fans. Great run there for Dees. Shire tonight not really being someone up front, but that we've talked about a lot tonight. But he got home with the top 3 finish as well. Thorpe P4, Kilroe P5. Actually a really strong finish and nowhere near, I think, as destructive as we thought it was going to be, Nolan.
Aaron Smith, the driver to Hollywood, South Carolina, burns it down on the front straightaway at the action track. Let's take a look at what happened on the final lap to Michael Keithley alongside with Dustin Ping, and just lost that by himself. It looked like maybe the 35 had some help in finishing him off, but Nick Osipek and got into the side of Lakey, and he himself lost it up in turn number 4. So few minor incidents to close out this race, but otherwise a solid drive from all involved at the end of things. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race results from the Richmond Raceway, where it's Aaron Smith taking the win ahead of Brian Dees with Scott Shire in 3rd, Thorpe in 4th. Dalton Kilroe was in the top 5 with Tony Hillbrands in 6th, Benjamin Lacey in 7th, Brian Zimmerman, Sean Williams, and Bob Berry round out the top 10.
Connor Gibson's going to finish in 11th. Jonathan Canfield 12th. Dustin Ping 13th. Corey Sherman 14th. Ty Marasco 15th, Ethan Sikorsky in 15th, Derek Foss 17th, Kevin Foster 14th, David Lakey in 19th, Nick Osipek in 20th.
21st place is going to be Michael Keith with Paul Satberry 22nd, Michael Ashworth 23rd with Greenwell in 24th, and it's Carter Phillips, John Osborne, Zachary Triplett, Chris Carroll, Tanner Marr, Andrew Jones, Larry Bell, and Hunter Lagunas. Not finishing this race, Lagunas didn't even make it a full lap, and he was, of course, your Daytona winner, so a pretty big upset there, but we'll get the chance now to give a chit-chat here to all of the drivers that come home and take some solid drives this afternoon, and we'll look to kick things off first and foremost with none other than race winner Aaron Smith. Aaron, it is your second podium in as many weeks, and this time you're on the top step, right where that yellow Vision car is so used to being.
Yeah, it was a great race all around. I didn't know if I had the speed to win the race early on. I wanted to find myself on a different strategy from everyone else, just in case I was missing out on some of that speed, but that turned out not to be an issue, so I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Going to talk us through the race tonight because it was an intense one, full of strategy, a bit of a rocky start, and got a little bit out of hand there a little bit towards the end as well, but overall, you're able to survive most of the mayhem with one of the few completely clean cars.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get a long run there. That race with Ben there, the really long run we had, it was pretty fun. The tires were completely shot. It was a lot of fun racing there. I wish we could have gone all the way through to the end on those, but yeah, it was a great race nonetheless. Like I said, I'm glad I could have won it.
We look to the future for you in this season. The last two seasons, you've only been running the part-time schedule, but this week you've made appearances and really solid appearances at the first two races. Are you finally going to be running here full-time, or is it still only part-time for you?
It's still only part-time right now, but I'll try to make as many races as I can, just in case I end up changing my mind, because I'd love to take a shot at that championship. I see a road course there in the playoffs, so I'd like to kind of make use of that, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, fingers crossed. We'll let you get back to celebrating. Congratulations on taking home the #1 step this afternoon.
All right, thank you.
Aaron Smith comes home in the Yellow Vision number 70 at Hollywood, South Carolina. We'll move on down now to the driver that finishes in the number 2 spot. It's the Team MFRD driver of Brian Dees, bringing it home in second.
Right, great run tonight. You were running up front most of the race. I mean, you'll be able to get to the front and challenge pretty much whoever was up there at any point. That last restart, though, it seems like you just couldn't quite get the move done, and really battling hard. Really, those last 2 laps, both from the outside and in behind. So walk us through bringing that car home in P2 tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure I had much for Smith there at the end, so I was more focused on locking up second at least. So that's kind of where that came from. I also was having trouble when Aaron took the top side on that last restart. I was having trouble seeing him exactly to time the restart and everything, so fell a little bit behind. So pretty much the only choice was try to hang on for second.
Yeah, it seems like such a game on the restarts here, especially at this track, with the leader has so much power in the restart zone to be able to go when they want. And then at the speed you're going on the restart, it's just hard to get the power down without spinning the rear tires and kind of, spinning the car around. And you don't really have enough time on the restarts to get that, a chance to kind of run them back down. But you did good holding your own there. I mean, I know Thorpe was pushing you really hard from the back. Was there any contact there in the last 2 laps that maybe caused you to kind of rattle your cage a little bit there, running toward the end?
I wouldn't say rattle my cage at all. There was definitely some. Let's just say me and Thorpe have a bit of a history, so I can't say that I didn't expect it. But again, my focus was just being able to hang on to it and make sure I kept both of them behind me. So
Well,
mission accomplished.
Yeah, that's exactly what you did. Great job tonight. Is anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I got a thing. Damn it, that's my first on. I was gonna try to go the whole interview without doing it. Gotta thank the league sponsors, MF Racing Designs, Michael Falk. Gotta thank Apex. Not sure who the other sponsors are. I was looking for a cheat sheet. Everybody involved that helps out the league, and definitely got to thank you guys up in the booth at Green Flag TV.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the P2 finish. We'll see you again next week.
Sounds good.
Brian Dees, the driver out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, comes home with a solid second-place finish this afternoon. We'll move on down to the final driver on the podium. It is Scott Shire, a driver we have not gotten to talk to in a good long while. Scott, you come home, you take your first podium of the season, and this is, I think, a good way to cap off what's been otherwise a wild opening 2 weeks for the Premier Series.
Yeah, you can definitely call it wild because I thought I was done after that one wreck. I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna get back up there, but it all played out pretty well.
Kind of talk us through things this afternoon. I know it was kind of all over the place for you at Daytona. You did come away with a 9th place finish, but here it must feel good to be able to qualify within the top 10 and only go even further to finish it up on the podium as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. After I got into Tony, he hit the wall and I got into him. After that, I was just hammered down, and it worked out. So.
We look forward again to the future for you in this series. Last season, you were so close to making it into the Final Four in the round of 8. This season, are you planning to go all the way in the championship?
Yes, I am. I am going to try.
Sounds like a solid plan. Scott Shire coming home with the number 3 spot this afternoon. Well, with that, that is going to do it for us here on the interviews for the post-race show. But goodness gracious, I mean, does it ever get much more wild than that, Chris? I mean, were there a lot of cautions? Yes, we got some good green flag runs in there as well. For 32 cars, it still could have been worse. And no doubt we're going to be seeing the darker side of this league when we go down to the Martinsville Speedway in a couple of months here. But I think these first 2 weeks have really set the tone for the season. It's going to be one that's a lot more chaotic than what we saw throughout all of last season.
Yeah, I mean, so what have you learned, right? I mean, obviously really aggressive racing. People aren't afraid to kind of lean on each other, bump into each other. I like some of the drama I heard from Dees there in the interview about him and him and some of the other drivers on track. So it's gonna be an interesting season to watch. I'm excited to be here. I will expect the racing to clean up, as all these guys kind of get to know each other. It is, new folks here in the league got to kind of find their place and their rhythm about where they're going to be. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's been great racing. Tonight was no exception. I love the fact that the drivers were able to stick it around the high side, make moves happen, defend when they needed to. And I think tonight the fastest car won the race. And that's what I like to see in a NASCAR race.
There's still a lot more coming up on Green Flag TV as well throughout the next few days. Tomorrow night, the MFRD Cup Series swings out to one of NASCAR's most infamous racetracks. The North Wilkesboro Speedway plays host to the last race of the regular series season for the Tuesday Night Cup Series, and they get set to reset the top 10 for the playoffs. 2 days from then, the Speed Cup Series takes it to one of NASCAR's most dangerous racetracks, the Kansas Speedway, a 1.5-mile monster that is going to prove to be a challenge for anybody to overcome. And nestled between them, we'll go racing in the Ardennes for the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps as the Beer League gets set to close out a wild 8th season of competition. All of this and so much more still yet to come throughout the next little while. If you want to check out more about who we are and what we can offer you, you can find more about us today at www.greenflagtv.com. As always, my name is Ola Ramble alongside Chris Hannigan. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you when we go racing next week on Monday night.